Hello everybody, welcome back to Boosted Budget Builds. I'm Grizz, and today we're going to be finishing up the strut removal. We're going to be doing the rear struts today. Sorry about the background noise. I'm going to show you what you need to remove them, and then after we get them all removed, we're going to go through of what to look at to make sure that the struts are in good shape and they can still be reused. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get at it, and see you in a minute. Alright guys, I know it's kind of a weird angle, but it's kind of hard to get to these back bolts and everything whenever without laying down. But anyway, as you can see, this is the bottom of the strut. Right there is one bolt to take it out, and then you got the two bolts up top to drop it. Normally I would try to take off the camber, like the dog bone. Here, let me show it to you really quick. Sorry about moving, but that thing right there, that's where you put like your adjustable camber, dog bones, or whatever you want to call them. I call them a dog bone because they kind of look like one. But anyway, that thing is stupid stuck. Like, I mean, I'm probably gonna twist the bolt off. So, but like I was saying, normally I would go ahead and pull that dog bone off, so that way we would be able to drop the rear. Well, it's not an axle, but the rear knuckle lower, so it'd be easier to get the strut out. But it's being a pain. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this lower bolt off, and then I'm gonna take the upper bolts off, and I'm gonna see if we can squeeze this out without having to remove that camber bolt. I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna see if I can't break this loose. Like I said, this is awkward to do when you're laying down. What I wouldn't give for a lift, let me tell you. Oh, and in case you guys saw that dog bone was wet, I sprayed some PB Blaster on it. That stuff right there. Oh, you can't really see it, but anybody that's ever done any work on anything old, I'm sure you use it. This stuff right here is the shit whenever it comes to breaking stuff loose. The only thing better than that is the homemade, it's like transmission fluid and I forget something else, but it's homemade and it's not an aerosol. And anyway, but yeah, PB Blaster makes a big difference. Sometimes getting these bolts out, it's easier if you kind of pull on them while you're threading them out. A lot of times they'll come out a little bit easier. There it is. Clean the bolt off, make sure it's okay. Yeah, it's good. Alright. Now, let me go ahead and take you up top. Alright. Guys, just like in the front, hopefully you can see in there. Yeah, I'm sure you can. This bolt, this bolt. Okay, these two here. Don't undo that one. Remember, that's the old fuck bolt. These two. I'm going to go ahead and undo those, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, got the bolt out the top, got the bolt out the bottom. Yeah, this thing definitely don't want to come out without that dog bone loose. Alright, let's see what we can do. Trying to get that dog bone loose. Alright guys, I had to reposition you a little bit. I'm going to try to get this dog bone off. Or at least loose on this side. I don't know, hopefully it doesn't break it. Won't be the first time I've broken one, but... Damn, guys. This thing does not want to come loose. Spray it down a little more. Alright. Let's go ahead and let this one soak, and we're going to move over to the other side. Okay guys, we're over here on the other side. I put some more PB Blaster on some of the bolts, but we're going to go ahead and take this bottom strut bolt out, like we did on the other side. Try not to booger up my brakes I just finished. Make it all nice and pretty. What I wouldn't give to have a freaking electric impact right now, I'm telling you. Or hell, even an electric ratchet. That's the next thing on my list, is a Milwaukee 3/8 electric ratchet and 1/2-inch impact. Both cordless. Gonna be about $300 for both of them, but we'll get it eventually. Let's see if I can't. Someone used some red Loctite on that bolt. I wonder if that's why the dog bones are so tight. See the red? Wonder if that's what happened. Alright, so that's out. I showed you guys how I do the top on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and get those off real quick. I'm not going to bother making you sick and moving around all the camera. Like I said, it's just 2 bolts I showed you on the other side, so you should be fine on this side. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. Alright guys, it's kind of hard to see because of lighting in this garage, but these 2 bolts right here are what bolt the dog bone onto the frame. I put some PB Blaster on those since the other one doesn't seem to want to come out. I'm going to try to just unbolt it from there so that way I'm not breaking the bolt on the dog bone. So let's see if we can get them off. Sorry. Okay. These are coming off. I hope you guys can still see there. You ought to be able to. Okay. Go ahead and get these out. Alright. Let's hope that they come out on the other side. Dog bones are out. Well, loose, not out. But now we should have the room. Hold on. All right. Damn. Ah, there it is. Whew. And we're down. All right. There's that side. Whew. That was a pain in the butt. All right. I'll take you over to the other side. All right, guys, we're gonna try to take the dog bone off the frame on this side too. Let's hope it works. Oh my God. Oh. I guess it'd help if I went the right way, huh, guys? Ah! Ow! Ah, that one broke loose. Ah! Alright, they both broke loose. Whew! That's some luck right there. Oh. You can see it a little better. There we go. Alright. Now let's see if we can't get this guy out of here. Just so you guys know, it takes some pressure to get these out of here. But here we are. Alright. I'll pause it and then we'll go take a look at all of them. Alright guys, we're back. Got all 4 struts out, and first thing you're going to want to do is write, like, you know, which ones are which, because if you're going to be reusing them, you know, it's best to put them back where they were. I mean, I'm sure you don't have to, and it'll probably be fine if you don't, but I do. So, whenever I brought them over here, I made sure I remembered which one, and obviously you know which one's front, which one's rear. The front's the fork comes off of. So, basically, this is going to be driver, and this is going to be passenger, passenger, and this is also the driver. So now we don't get them mixed up, and you'll never see them whenever they're bolted on. So, okay. Excuse me. Okay. Now, let's take a look at these a little bit closer. I mean, they're definitely dirty and filthy. But other than dirty and filthy, I'm not seeing... Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys. Other than being dirty and filthy, I'm not really seeing any bad signs. Shocks, whenever they go bad, they'll leak oil. And they'll leak... You guys see what I'm doing here? The shocks will leak around the shaft here. There's a seal and they'll leak up around this area, but as far as the driver's rear, it doesn't seem to be leaking at all. I'm going to be doing a video about how to restore springs. You know, make them look better and stuff, because these really are some nice springs. They're, I call these things Tokios. I know I'm probably just butchering the name, but they're, you know, they're matching springs to go with the shocks. They're lowering springs. So I'm going to check them out, make sure they're not cracked, and I mean, if they're all still in good shape, I'm probably just going to clean them up and repaint them, and hopefully the shocks will clean up where I don't have to repaint them, but if I do, I do. It's not a big deal. Another part you want to look at, which it's kind of hard with the spring actually on the shock, which I'm going to be taking them off here fairly soon, and then I'll show you guys a better picture. Oh my god. But the cap, or I've always called it the cap, the top of the strut, this part right here, it's got a rubber bushing or a rubber mat, whatever you want to call it, inside. And another thing is they'll get all cracked and they'll start to wear, and then it'll start to allow the cap to twist some. This one looks pretty good. So as far as the driver's rear, I see no problems. Let's go to the driver front. Alright. Same thing. The spring, the powder coating on the springs are just gone to shit. Now, this is the cap, like I was telling you. They're starting to get some rust, so I think it's just surface rust right now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, whenever I take these apart, I'm going to clean the caps up and take all the rust off of it and then respray it black. Here is the spring. Oof, it's about ready to fall off. The spring code on it. Make sure you guys can see that. It's the Tokyo 5049F is the spring, in case you guys are interested. Anyway, back to checking them out. Oh my goodness. Again, if the shocks are going to leak, you're going to see it right in the middle where the shaft actually goes in. This has got a metal protector on it, which is nice. But again, no leaks. So that strut and shock is just fine. I'll look a little bit closer as far as the springs whenever I get them taken apart, making sure they're not cracked or anything. But from what I can see, they're not. Okay, move on to the passenger rear. Again, no leakage. The cap and the rubber on the cap seal, rubber seal, whatever you want to call it, it's both in good shape. So that strut's good. Oh, go to the passenger front. Oh my goodness. This stuff is horrible. I guess that's what happens whenever you sit in storage for a decade. Sorry, I'm just trying to clean some of this stuff off. Okay. Again, strut looks just fine. There's no leaks on the shock. You can see a lot of rust and corrosion on the springs, but I'm not seeing any cracks. So once we get these off, I'll take a wire brush to them, or some sort of cleaning abrasive, and clean them up, and then we'll check them over again. But again, there's a little bit of surface rust on the cap. I don't know why the fronts are rusting and the rears aren't, but anyway, yeah, we got lucky. All the struts seem to be in good condition, and the springs, other than just the powder coat peeling completely off and being rusted, they seem to be in good shape too. We'll know more once I get the springs removed from the strut, or from the shock, and we'll take a closer look then. But until then, they all look like they're in good shape. Whenever I was taking off these struts, it looks like somebody put a urethane bushing kit on this car already. The bushings on the struts, where they come off of, on the front and rears, both, down here where this mounts, are urethane. So, move you up a little bit. So, I'll get a little bit closer look. Like I spoke to you about the last time, we're still going to have to order some bushings. I'm probably going to throw in a couple new ball joints if I don't get the entire new kit. The tie rod ends, they've seen better days too. The boots are cracked. So we're going to be getting a lot of suspension components for this car. Soon, hopefully. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We've got all the struts out. We inspected all the struts. And next thing up is to get the springs removed off the shocks and then inspect the springs a little bit better. And then just basically cleaning them up, repainting them if they need to, and then reinstalling them once we get the rest of the suspension. The next video is probably going to be over removing the power steering and removing the cruise control. And then I'll check the AC. We might even be removing it also. But until then, I'm Grizz, as always, and we will catch you on the next one.